Hi everyone, my name is Paula Phillips, also known as JournalArtista, and I'm so happy to be a part of the House of Art .org. So wonderful to be here, so wonderful to meet all of you guys. I'm here today to share a really quick tip and technique on how I create texture. It's the simplest way that I have found to create real easy and stunning texture. It's a type of texture that you can feel. I absolutely love those. It's not just visual, but it's something that I can rub my hands over in my journal when I'm done. So some of the supplies that I have are golden fluid acrylic and I can never pronounce any of these names, guys, so you kind of have to get used to that. Manganese blue hue. There we go. One of my favorite colors, just can't say it. I also have just regular golden gesso and a really big brush. This is actually a 1.5 inch flat, but whatever brush suits you that you like to use. I also have my heat gun at the ready, and that's really it. This is my Moly journal. There's just some random alcohol inks on this page, but we're going to cover it right up. One of the ways that I love working in my art journal is I never waste anything. So if there's leftover alcohol ink on my applicator or leftover paint, I always flip a few pages in my journal and just go nuts with it. Sometimes it works out, sometimes I end up covering it. So I'm going to put a fairly thick coat of gesso on this page. And one thing that I failed to mention, my brush is slightly damp. I did just take it out of the water and wiped it off with a dried baby wipe. You can obviously use a paper towel if you so inclined, but I always have dried baby wipes around me. I am putting, like I said, a fairly thick coat so that you can really see the texture when it's done. So as you can see, I'm pretty willy-nilly with my gessoing application. I'm not, precise. It doesn't matter to me if it gets, onto other pages or if I have brush strokes or any of that. In fact, it's all the better when we're talking about texture, right? So I think I have enough, quite a bit on there. I'm going to put my brush back in water here. Close my gesso. So this is all I'm going to do. I'm going to take my page and I'm going to flip it over. Excuse my arm reach for a second so I can see myself. I'm going to flip it over, rub it a little bit. It's going to be a little bit hard to see because it's white, but once we put some of this beautiful golden fluid acrylic, it's going to look wonderful. So you're going to take the 2 pages that you just did, and the slower that you open it, the longer, I shouldn't say longer, but the more texture you're going to get. Now you don't want to wait too long, because the longer you wait, your pages actually might stick together. Your gesso can act as a glue. You can do this with black gesso, clear gesso, or just white. Give it a couple seconds. There we go for my camera to focus. Really simple, huh? So you just get that really nice ridgy type look as a base. So I'm going to quickly heat set this. Now I don't have the quietest heat gun in the world, but I do have a wonderful webcam here that drowns out some of the noise. I will try not to talk over it though. It should only take a couple seconds. one thing you do want to remember is that you really do want it completely dry. I tend to want to rush to the next step because I'm so excited to create. But remember that the gesso is pretty thick at this point, and you know, you don't want to rush it. You really want to let it dry so that when you put on the acrylic paint after that, you won't get, you know, your gesso that are in the ridges, peaks and valleys on your page won't come out and start smearing with your acrylic paint. So I'm just going to call this blue. I know you guys are all laughing at me already. So I'm going to take my fluid acrylic, manganese blue hue. Totally butcher that, guys. I apologize. It's part of my personality, who I am. So I'm just going to take a little bit of fluid acrylic, and again, this is a 3/4 of an inch, I believe. Yes, flat brush, slightly wet, and I'm just going to blend it across the paper. Now you can use more than one color of acrylic paint. I like the fluids or the glazes because they kind of really get down into your ridges. And I use a fairly dry brush technique to push it across my page. So I'm going to take one thing as I said earlier, my studio is not complete without the baby wipe. So at this point, here's what we got. Really awesome, eh? So fun, so easy. And I'm just going to take my baby wipe, and if you're really light, you can just wipe off the peaks of your valleys, your peaks rather than the valleys. If you put a little bit more pressure, you can wipe it off totally. I never waste this, guys. Your paint on your baby wipe. Look, I can go on this next side and create a wash. Never waste it. Sometimes I flip over the paper and do the same thing. So there we go. Normally, I would let this dry or heat set it again and add yet another color of fluid acrylic and just continue to build up the layers. As you get to know me better, you'll know that I love layering lots of colors of paints. So you can come and check me out on ustream.tv. I'm JournalArtista just about everywhere. You can Google me. But we have a great class every Wednesday and Saturday nights. And lots of the girls over there, we have such a great time. And they like to tease me. They start counting how many layers I have in some of my pages. But it's just me. So I just wanted to show you a quick page that I've done recently. Yes, I was working on my book upside down, because you know how it gets, guys. You got this thick pages, and I wanted to have the angle correct for you guys to see. So this is the start of the page. So not the start of the page. This is a complete page. But when I show it at this, this far away, you can't see the texture. But check this out. I'm going to hold it up. I flipped it around a little bit. There you go. You can really see the same ridges, peaks and valleys, shall we say, in the background. Was a little bit hard when I colored my my lotus here with pencil crayons. Hopefully I'm not making anybody sick to cover those things, but cover the texture. So anyways, I truly hope you enjoyed this really quick technique. I absolutely enjoyed creating it with you, and hope to see you soon over on my blog, messymindcreativesoul.blogspot.com, over on my Ustream channel, which is JournalArtista over there. Much love, everyone.